All right. Are you guys ready for my Arizona take? Are you ready for this? It's
Ready.
scalding. It's hot. You're gonna laugh at
Ready.
me. I think you're probably gonna call me an idiot, but I'm gonna make a case that this year's Arizona is what last year's UConn was. Okay. You ready for this? Last year, UConn rolled out to that 14-0 start to the season. We all crowned them at the start of the year. We all said this is the best team in college basketball. This is a team that can go out and win a national title. And then they get to January and teams kind of figure them out and they kind of say, look, you know what? We're just not going to guard Andre Jackson. We're just not going to play him. And it took UConn a month to kind of figure it out. They lost 6 out of 8 there in January. And then once they got Andre Jackson back, it clicked into action and they started rolling everybody. And outside of the loss to Marquette in the Big East tournament, they won every game from I think January 29th on through the national title. Arizona started out 8-0 this year. They won at Duke. They beat Michigan State on a neutral. They absolutely blasted Wisconsin. They looked like a wagon. Then they had 2 tough competitive losses. One was a double overtime 1-point loss to Florida Atlantic. One was effectively a road loss at Purdue in Indianapolis. And that kind of led to a spiral where Kai Boswell completely lost his confidence. And I think that he's the glue that kind of keeps this Arizona engine churning. And then once he kind of figured it out over the last couple of weeks, they started getting better. They won a 3 overtime game at Utah and followed that up with an ass kicking at Colorado. Nobody sweeps those Pac-12 games. Arizona, TO, they're rolling, baby. We all forgot about them. We all wrote them off. This team can win a national title, sir.
Yeah, I think a lot says for that road trip to Utah and Colorado. That was a road trip that crushed them last year. Mm-hmm. And they follow up a 3 overtime win at Utah by smashing Colorado. That says a lot just because that's not an easy road trip, guys. You're at elevation. It's a different road trip than the rest of the Pac-12, quite frankly, because you're in that mountain range and it makes it a little bit more difficult. They're good. They're really good. I did fall off the bandwagon a little bit because let's be honest, guys. I mean, Oregon, they're fine. Cal, that kudos for them for getting a lot better, but they're just fine. Stanford, for the life of me, guys, I can't figure out why Stanford isn't better. I've said that and said that and said that. The talent's there. You have to be better. What are we missing? You have to be better. And then the Utah, Colorado, I like both of those teams. That's 2 big wins, but they keep it rolling. The tools are certainly there. I'm not going to be mad at any part of it. They control the glass, even playing a little bit smaller than they did last season.
So I watched Arizona at Colorado on Saturday, entire game. And so I'm going to be real with everybody here. We can't watch every Pac-12 game on the East Coast. You know, I'm not going to pretend that we do. I mean, you can watch back on Synergy, you can watch back in other ways. But what I try to do is I try to look at the Pac-12 or the Mountain West. I've been watching more of the Mountain West this year because that league is awesome.
Fun.
And
so fun.
He does a very nice job on the games. But it is so fun. And congrats to New Mexico for beating Nevada last night. Huge win for Jamal Mashburn Jr. and Richard Pitino. Mm-hmm. But I watched the entire Arizona-Colorado game. What I watched over that 2 hours from Arizona was as complete a performance as I've seen from a team all season. They absolutely dominated Colorado and Boulder. Colorado could not buy a stop. Arizona was more physical. They were faster. They bullied Colorado inside. Omar Ballo just said, this is my front court, and controlled the game. You just said it. As great as Caleb Love is, and he's a bucket getter, and when he's on, everybody seems to feed off him. In this game, he shot 6 for 15. He wasn't perfect. But what they've unlocked is, one, Boswell's back into the right frame of mind. He's playing within himself. He's not trying to do too much. He's just, as the coaches like to tell players who go through a rut, just please focus on what you're good at. Stop worrying about all the other stuff. He's focusing on what he's good at. Pele Larson, to me, right now, has emerged as a really important piece to the puzzle. Why? Because he's consistent. You know, you can walk into the gym and he's going to give you 15 to 18 points right now. This guy is playing at an extremely high level. Offensively, they are potent. They get downhill in the lane, say goodnight. and they are good defensively, like really good defensively. That's just it. Like with Arizona, you can't say that they're one-dimensional at all. They are one of 4 teams in the top 15 in both offense and defense in KenPom, joining Houston, Purdue, and those Tennessee Volunteers. I'm buying the Wildcats. I don't think this is a fluke. I think this is a really important year for Tommy Lloyd because he's had 2 cracks at the tournament. Hasn't been able to get the Wildcats going on that deep, deep run. This team belongs in an Elite 8 fighting for a spot in Arizona. I'm all in on the Wildcats.
T.O.? Yeah. I for all the same reasons. They're big, they're physical, all the things I said earlier. I'm in on them too. I think they're going to win a national championship? No. But I do think that they can win 3-4 games. Get to Phoenix, quite frankly. And if they get to Phoenix, keep in mind, pseudo home game.
Pseudo home game. They'll get 50,000 fans in Glendale.
Yep.
So that will be basically a home game for them.